Okay, I don't know if I covered this on my other Tucker Carlson video that I did, but as much good stuff as he's done in recent years, good stances as he's had, and where he seemed like a smart guy and seems decent, especially considering the wealth that he was born into. His view of this white people thing is just bizarre. He had his brother on. I was trying to find a clip of just that, and I couldn't really find it. Don't really know how to search for that sort of thing. I didn't want to use somebody else's clip that they used for their show, which is where I saw it. And him and his brother talking about how Barack Obama hated white people. And just absolutely hated white people. And I guess they're saying he loved black people. I don't know how that goes. And he kind of believes in this white genocide theory and this white replacement theory. And all of that is blindingly idiotic. It is, you can't believe that and have a triple-digit IQ. You can't. And that's what worries me about it, because otherwise he seems like a smart guy. You can't. Maybe he's just so sheltered because of how he grew up. How do you believe something like that? There's zero evidence to that. If anything, I would say Barack Obama had issues with black people, not white people. And I've even had a theory, and it's a little out of place for me to say it as a white person, but this has been my theory. You notice this is sort of, they're outsourcing all of our politicians. It doesn't matter the color or anything like that. We're all being sort of outsourced. And, Trump, it doesn't take too long. You look back and they're either first generation or second generation American. It's like we're not having any politicians that have been here past, say, 1900, their lineage, which is strange. And to me, it's a real insult to black people. Barack Obama was the first black president. Let me get this straight. He's only half. And the other race he's part of is the race that kept the other half from being there. It's not like he was half Native American. Something like that. Half Mexican or, something like that. Half white, half English. And then the black part wasn't from here. So he didn't have any lineage that dealt with any of the awful things that black people have had to deal with in this country. And like I said, I know it's not really my place to talk about this. It's kind of inappropriate. But then you had Kamala Harris, and it was the same sort of deal. It seems a little strange. We can't have a black person near the presidency who's descended from the slaves years ago. Why is that not happening? Any position of power, real position of power, it's like they've got to outsource it. It's like they can be black, but we really prefer them to be half, and we prefer that half to not be from here. And if there is any sort of replacement theory, I would say Americans are being replaced. They've already tried to, kind of replace Native Americans. I would say they're replacing other Americans as well. But to say the concentration is white people is stupid. Trump would be a replacement. He would be. How's he not? His mother was born in Scotland. His grandfather on his father's side is born in Germany. He's barely American. And you look at his administration and other people that were close to the presidency. First or second generation. That's a little strange that there's getting to be that many of them. Kind of a carpetbagger situation. I even get mad about that with the states. Like in Tennessee, and I'm sure it happens in other states. You have somebody from outside of the state, and they're going to run for office in the state. That bothers me a little bit. That doesn't seem right. To me, that's the modern version of a carpetbagger. So his idea about that is just absolutely ridiculous. And he keeps going on about it. I always think it's some kind of an AI or it's a spoof or he's making some sort of joke. Because he does have a decent sense of humor. Weird laugh, but a decent sense of humor. And no, he's serious. Him and his brother are both serious about it. The idea that a wealthy white guy who's never worked a day in his life thinks that white people are being threatened. I mean, you can't get past how dumb that is. So it sort of, to me, I find a lot of times that anytime somebody sort of speaks some sort of truth, it's been happening for a while, somebody speaks some sort of truth, that they also have to throw out some sort of idiocy, almost like to give themselves cover. I used to kind of suspect that about Jesse Ventura, that he was sort of a, and I don't really feel this way anymore, but I kind of suspected that he might be some sort of plant, because it's a smart thing to do with the establishment, to put somebody out to say something that's true before that actually gets out. And after they say something's true, they say something's ridiculous, completely ridiculous. So it sort of stains the truth. And that happens a lot. And I kind of have to wonder if Carlson got something to do with that, you know, and Candace Owens. I will say I use them a lot. I reshare their stuff when there's a good point, and they have some good interviews and have people on there. Even Rogan has. None of the three of them should be trusted. And there's plenty that would consider themselves to be on the left that shouldn't be trusted. They're the same sort of thing. And that, again, makes it come off as suspicious. It seems like plants. It seems like controlled opposition. So definitely be careful. And that right there alone. See, it makes you, if I share something from Tucker Carlson saying something that's smart, something I agree with, something that needs to be said, anybody who's aware of that white genocide nonsense he's pushing, now I'm stained by sharing his stuff. Meanwhile, what option do you have? I mean, look at the comments on my videos. I don't know that much. I'm not a reporter. But I can impart some views. They can't use me. Nobody knows who I am. And that's why you're forced to use these ridiculous tools, people you might not agree with in a lot of stuff, because that's what you got. That's what you got. You know, if you need a vehicle and the only one there is the most awful vehicle you've ever had, you're going to drive it because you have to. It's kind of like a job, you know. If you need a job, you got to take whatever one will give you the call. I've been in that situation a whole lot. But definitely be careful. And I don't know what the alternative is, because if some message, people see, somebody's not going to listen to me. I've said this in other videos. I share people that I've had issues with in the past. I've questioned their sincerity in the past. And it's because there's people that are listening to them that won't listen to me. So maybe if I filter the truth through them, that the truth will get to them. And that's why I do it. And I'm sure there's people that get mad about that, you know. And the more well-known I get, which I'm inching up slowly, I guess. It's like walking from here to California and I've just closed the door behind me. I got a long way to go. But I'm sure more and more people get mad about that. Why are you sharing this person? Well, they said this or that. Because people that won't listen to me will listen to them. And at least they'll get the truth some way. And that's kind of what you have to do. But the idea that he's pushing that, I mean, that in itself, it's like these people that are running against, we got Monty Fritz here in Tennessee, running for one office. And in South Carolina, you got this Lynch guy who's running against Lindsey Graham. And on one hand, it'd be good if Fritz were to knock all these other people out. It'd be good if Lynch were to get Lindsey Graham out of there. However, You want to talk about some sick ideas that both of them have, at least concerning immigration. It's bad. And Fritz, you know, I worry about, and I hate being like this, but you worry about somebody when they're talking a little bit too much religion. How far is this going to go? Is he going to dictate how people live their lives? Going to make it illegal to live together or something like that? What's he going to do? It does worry you. But at the same time, it'd be better for him to win than the rest of them. And I'm not a lesser evil person, so I don't think I could vote for either one of them anyway. I've thought I was going to do that at one time. I think when Blackburn was first running for some sort of office, or maybe it might have been, I don't know who it was, but I was going to vote for the Democrat. I was going to do it, and I could not make myself do it. In the heat of the moment, I'm right there in front of that screen where I'm getting ready to vote, and I was like, I can't do it. They're awful, I can't. And I voted for a third-party person, which is what I do. But I told myself going in I was going to vote for the lesser evil, and I couldn't do it because it's voting for evil. So beware of people like that. Use them for what they're good for, but beware. As Kit Capello says, keep your head on a swivel.